What do we call this place, Jared? Is this the...
Oh, yeah, we need a name for this. We've only recorded here like once or twice, so I've never really...
We recorded before I left for China, right?
Was that when that was?
And then after I came back
And then when
once,
you came back, yeah. So
right?
Twice, I guess? Has it been twice? Interesting.
Hasn't been too much, but it's good to be here, man.
Well, we'll think of a name as we go. That's
fair.
It's too much pressure. I'm interested in this tattoo because I feel like I always feel like I want a tattoo. The only thing that's stopping me, honestly, is having no idea what it is I want my tattoo to be.
Right.
Would you? Are you? Let me guess for you.
Okay.
Yours is going to be some sort of guitar related thing.
Yes, it's going to be a giant guitar on my face going down. No,
I thought maybe like what is it where you have the little twisty things on the guitar? What is that part called?
The tuning pegs?
Yeah, that would be like on your neck. And then as it goes down your spine,
that'd be kind of cool. That would be cool, but no, I'm not going to do that.
And then your butt would be the actual
guitar.
Yeah,
well, yeah, the round part of the guitar for sure. I mean, why do you think I'm doing all these squats, Jared? Trying to get ready for the guitar tattoo. Well, I think you bring up a good point though. With a tattoo, there's a couple questions you need to ask. What do you want, and where do you want it? Right, and that's one thing that I think. You need to put a lot of thought into because, I have no problem if people put it on their wrist so it's visible. I personally don't care. I like tattoos, but some people do say, a lot of boomers do say,
my parents,
if you have it on your wrist, it's unprofessional.
Yeah, there's a guy at my last job in Philly. He had like a.
Can you turn me up a little bit, maybe just a hair, or is it?
I think he had like a.
Thank you,
I think
sir.
it's not that I think I'm too loud. You're not too
coming in
quiet.
real hot, Jared.
He had like a.
Oh, dude, you gotta click the monitor thingy on me. I think maybe click on. Yeah, just trust
this
me.
Thing?
Yeah. There. Try again.
It was already on.
Was it? Okay.
You don't hear yourself?
Now it's more clear. I don't know why, but it's a little more clear.
I think it was already. I think that's the same. It sounded. Yeah. Anyway. He had one of my coworkers. He has like ex-coworker. He had like a half sleeve on his on the bottom part of like his forearm, and I thought it looked dope. And I definitely I thought about my parents and other boomers saying it's not professional. And this guy was pretty high up in the company, and he was young too. So he was like one of their little young proteges.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm like, I mean, he's doing all right. It's the tattoo's not stopping him.
Right. Well, I think that's kind of a ridiculous thought, and after 2020,
sure.
I mean, really,
I definitely think tattoo culture has changed. I mean, back in the day, it's like that person's either a criminal or they went to war or something, and now it's like I don't know, that person that could be anything.
Right. Well, and I think the interesting thing about tats as well is, a lot of people are in one camp where they think it has to have some like really deep meaning. I don't know if I 100% agree with that. Like, if you want to get a tattoo just because you like spiders and you think it looks badass, I mean, I guess who am I to judge?
I like the idea of something abstract and artistic. I don't need it even to be some sort of object. But the thing is, to me, then figuring out the art, like then you know what really it is, because my partner has a couple tattoos, and she says like, well, what you have to do is you have to go to the tattoo artist, and they don't mind people coming in like that, and they'll make some designs.
And they'll draw it up, yeah, and you can give them input.
And my immediate thought was like, no joke, my immediate thought was like, that's a lot of conversation.
Well, I think you really need to know what you want.
Yeah,
is the key. You have to really have a good understanding.
So maybe I like the idea of something abstract. Maybe what I would have to do is like maybe focus on some colors I like, some sort of abstract ideas, maybe like, or not like abstract, maybe like, I like Mondrian, for example.
Right.
I don't know. That's just something I made up. But
why is it only picking up my face?
Because you're white, Chad. Okay, that's why we have this here.
That's okay.
I'm talking to the camera. Hey, camera.
But your camera's black, dude.
That's true. That's a good point. I don't know why it only picks up my face, but don't worry.
Okay. You're in the shot. Your beautiful face is in the shot. Good, as they should.
What if the camera just automatically blacked out my face? Well, clearly that's just background, so we'll just blur that out.
That'd be terrible. Well, it's like one of my coworkers. This is the funny thing about working virtually is one of my coworkers. Her daughter was in the background. Everyone's working from home at my office, and she had the background blurred, so her daughter would come in and come out.
Oh,
so it looked kind of like a hologram, like you're
There's
sitting
a
there
ghost
watching.
floating behind you, by the way, just so you know
It
that
just
she pops
and
in.
it flickers too, so it does look kind of like it's just crazy how that works. With the backgrounds.
I've definitely seen a lot of coworkers' kids, a lot of coworkers' spouses.
Pets?
Definitely pets. I've definitely
Which is a highlight in my opinion.
heard a lot of pets. Heard a few kids, but definitely seen a few kids too that just pop up.
Right.
And the parent will be like, "Hey, I'm doing
Leave,
something."
go. Right.
But then some don't care. Like sometimes at my company, like people will just like have their dog on their lap, and of course everyone will go like, "Ah,"
Right.
like, and I roll my eyes at people that are sheep. I don't know.
Well, it's funny, dude. My parents' dog only comes up for some reason when I'm having a meeting with my boss. Like that is the only time, or if I'm like having lunch, and usually I'll have lunch and still be working.
Well, the
on
lunch
stuff.
makes sense,
right? Well, exactly. But then I'll be talking to my boss, and then I'll hear her steps, her little legs
You're
coming
like,
up the
"Oh, no."
stairs, and she'll sit there and look at me for a minute. I'll pet her. I usually tell my boss. My boss laughs, and then
But she's not like she does bark. But
She's pretty
it's
quiet,
usually if she barks, it's about something specific.
it's
Like she's
food
just
related,
not like
or
a
she
barker.
needs to go out. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we never tolerated it when she was little, but she never
What
was
does that
really
mean?
loud. That just means you train them not to bark.
Okay.
Well,
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You got to discipline them somehow, Jared, I guess. I don't know, But she's a good dog. She doesn't bark. She's usually. But yeah, so anyways, what were we talking about? We were on such a
We're
tangent.
talking about
tattoos.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah, so you said the guy in your company higher up has them,
Yeah.
right?
And
Okay.
I just think I'll tell you this. It's what's stopping me is not the professional aspect of this. First of all, I don't think I want it in a visible place. But I like the idea of like a forearm. But I think what I really want is like the inside of a bicep.
Okay.
I like that spot.
Nice.
I just don't know what I want.
Could get
that's all.
Spider-Man, so you have like the web thing.
No, not the inside of the bicep. Oh,
I'm teasing.
yeah,
you.
but
Yeah, inside the bicep is here.
what is Spider-Man's? His shooter doesn't look like anything.
Well, it would be his costume or his Spider-Man thing. His outfit.
Oh, the outfit.
Yeah, just the Spider-Man type of. Yeah,
because you can't see the
sleeve.
shooter.
Right. It would be like the Spider-Man sleeve, and then
I got you. I
don't know.
Sleeve.
I saw something on. I saw something online with it. Looked interesting, but yeah,
Sure.
the inner bicep I think is a good spot, but I think that would hurt.
Oh, would it?
I mean that's kind of sensitive.
Yeah. What's
Maybe.
a non-painful spot?
Well, I don't know. I've never gotten a
Thigh
tat.
tat.
I've heard places on bones tend to hurt more is what I've heard, but I don't know if that's true.
I've heard that like the wrist is a sensitive spot. I've heard.
I would believe that.
I never heard the inside of the arm as a sensitive spot.
I mean, you never got pinched in high school by somebody
on the
like,
inside
in
of my
there? Yeah.
arm. I don't know.
Maybe I just had asshole friends, but
So maybe okay. So here's the deal. I only want a weenus tattoo then.
right on
Just
the
a
elbow.
weenus tattoo.
Clean. Nice.
Where's another place where I wouldn't feel it at all? Like my ear.
Yep, ear.
Yeah.
I wonder the
ear
people
tat.
who get the inside of the lip. That has to be really painful, right? An eye
I
tat.
wonder. The thing about the inside of the lip, it must be painful. Is it also? It doesn't last forever.
Right.
Like
those wear off pretty
Right.
quick.
It's like,
I think.
yeah. That I feel like those are specifically tattoos for people rebelling against their parents.
Bold statement, but okay.
Or maybe not parents specifically, but those are specifically some sort of rebellion tats because it's like the
for
only
sure.
way you show it to anyone
sure.
is already it's like
I mean, and the ones I've seen have been like, "Fuck you, shut up,"
like a middle finger or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
These like especially
It's
since
got some rebellion. in
everyone
there,
knows that they're going to wear off in a bit anyway. It's like this is not a long lasting thing. It's like this is just some sort of like F it tattoo.
Right. The inner bicep is good. I like the shoulder. If I like first tat, I think I'd go shoulder or even upper back.
So I asked you what you wanted, and then I never let you
Assumed it was
answer
a
and just
guitar.
assumed it was a guitar.
Because that's what I wanted. Right on my back, you nailed it. No, I don't know. I would like something that's like either on my left or my right shoulder, and like a quarter sleeve, like down to here.
Okay,
you
something
know?
just artistic or
Yeah, well, something artistic. something I've thought about, like there's a painting I really like by Gustav Klimt, and it's like the Tree of Life, and if you could somehow shape it,
I don't know if I don't know if I'd want, and maybe it's also because of my dark skin. I don't know if I'd want a colorful tattoo. I think I'd want mine to just be black.
I kind of like those, and that is where I was thinking though. Still do that artwork, but do it still like that. I don't know what color, but it's like that gray or that gray black kind of color. Because the colorful ones, I think you have to go in a lot more and retouch them.
Yeah,
that's why I'd rather, if I get a tattoo, I think those just look cooler.
Remember my roommate in Austria? He got a sleeve. I remember the process of his year abroad,
which is crazy.
But shout
out to Jonathan.
And his was also like, it was a lot of like cartoons from like old German cartoons.
Well, it was all from not cartoons, but
like fairy tale. I don't remember what it was.
Struwwelpeter.
Is that what it was?
Oh,
and
dude.
so there's like a lot of colors, pull up
Struwwelpeter on your laptop.
A lot of people's faces, and it was like, geez, dude, that looks. The recovery period looked like how do you Stuvel.
STRUVV WW actually WWEEL Struwwelpeter.
Oh jeez,
Struwwelpeter.
Here it is.
So what Struwwelpeter is? It's a German collection of like stories for kids, right? And basically all these stories. It was written by a guy who was like, I don't remember if he was an artist or what. It was written, I think, in like sometime in the 1500s. And he wrote it for his 3 or 4 year old kid, basically to, in a way,
he got like all these
scare the kid, so they wouldn't do anything bad. In a way, a lot of these children.
Is that why he has those long nails?
Well, that's one of the stories. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. I don't remember them all now, but there's.
Is he like a German Dr. Seuss? Is that a?
I mean, this was like
wild.
This was like way before Dr. Seuss was even around. So I don't think so. I mean, he only wrote one book, I think, to my knowledge. But here, hold up. I mean, you gotta see this. Like, these stories are nuts, dude. Like there's one called Suppenkaspar where he doesn't eat a
Why
soup.
do Europeans, or why do Germans, and I guess Austrians,
oh, here you go.
Why are they so obsessed with scaring children?
Oh, this headline is so great.
Because the same with it's like a Krampus.
Discipline.
They're like their way of quote unquote fun,
right?
And teaching a lesson is just scaring fear based.
Right. Well, and they even have the
Oh no! Sorry,
you're good.
Yeah, that was because I turned on my.
Did
it keep going? That was crazy. I don't know if it kept going or not during that.
I think it just stopped for a minute. I think we caught it pretty quick. Why though? Why they do the scary stories? I mean, I think it's just to try to instill some, I don't know, scary kids. I don't know. I don't have children.
I mean, scare tactic is a classic teaching tactic. So it's not an unheard of tactic.
I feel like there's
But this is like Germany and Austria. They seem to have so many.
Czech Republic too, dude.
That's true. They have whipping children.
They have that, and well, that's for Easter. First of all, whoa there, that's for Easter.
Don't talk bad about my Czech Republic.
That's
okay. Oh no, that's
Hold
right.
up.
That's more like that's right.
All right, we got a lot, as Jared likes to say, we got a lot to unpack here, Jared. So first of all, so Germany and Austria, they have Krampus, which is like this like satanic beast looking thing that comes and puts children in a bag, burlap sack, and takes them away if they're misbehaving for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Czech Republic, they have Mikuláš, which is the like Saint Nick, basically, kind of. And then
he's a murderer,
but they come within they say the angel and the devil is also basically kind of the same thing as Krampus, and also same thing. And
we get coal here in the U.S.
Right.
I could ease that.
And,
I could make a barbecue.
And you could dude. That's how fat we are, dude.
We got to talk about that after. Okay. I got another thing to tell you about after.
Anyway, but I mean, I remember my friends, my colleagues in the Czech Republic telling me like a few people in their towns that were bad. Their parents told one of the townspeople, hey, come put my son in the burlap sack and just take him somewhere, put him there, and we'll come pick him up.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Right. But it was really funny though. One of my colleagues, she told me, she was like, well, that boy actually never misbehaved ever again. I mean, I guess so, because he's fucking traumatized. But holy shit, dude! But I mean, once again, it's like these stories.
What do they mean? Never misbehaved ever again?
I mean, I guess
is that possible?
Kid changed his attitude.
That sounds like trauma.
I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. I'm not a child psychologist. I don't know, but it's crazy shit though. These stories. But anyway, so Struwwelpeter, was the whole reason why we started talking about this was tattoos, and but so the thing
is very cool art though.
Right,
I definitely remember this one.
Right, like one of them is one of the stories is called Der Daumenlutscher. What does that mean, Jared? Do you know?
The woman something?
Daumen.
Oh, Daumen. I think you said
not Daumen. Sorry, Daumen.
Oh, that's thumb.
Thumb Lutscher.
Thumb cutter.
Thumb sucker.
Oh,
the thumb sucker because the kid was sucking his thumb.
I think Lushen from like
delete. Yeah, gotcha. And so the mom warns him and says, "Hey, if you don't stop sucking your thumb, the tailor is going to come in here and snip, snap, daumen up. Like they'll come and cut your thumbs off."
Oh, and they make it fun and rhymey.
Right, of course. Snip, snap, daumen up. Of course. These are German kid stories, Jared, of course.
With a child getting it.
Right, and Jared can look at the picture, it's crazy. Dude's got these giant scissors and poor kid,
But it is very interesting art because it looks like some sort of music maestro is coming in to cut off it.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, there's a Christmas movie coming out, a new Christmas movie coming out.
Okay.
Involving... I think the perfect character, the perfect lead role is played by Mel Gibson.
Interesting. Okay.
And this movie is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. So he's Santa, and he has to give people, the naughty kids, coal, and it's called Fat Man, and
oh man, that's hilarious.
And so because he has to give naughty kids coal, he's very used to people coming after.
He's boxing in the gym.
He's very used to people sending hitmen after him.
Okay.
And so
interesting concept. Okay.
And by the way,
okay, hold up.
This
Can you pause this trailer? Hold up.
Pisses me off.
Okay.
Mrs. Claus is a black woman. That makes me so mad.
Why does that piss you off?
Because Mel Gibson is the most racist actor. He's openly racist.
Is he the director?
I don't know. This doesn't make me mad at him specifically.
Right.
I just don't like.
You don't
they know what they're doing.
Dynamic.
They know what they're doing.
What are they doing?
When they put the black woman as the wife, because he's so racist. I feel like it's like he's not that racist, or like they're trying to like down like.
Oh, okay.
Because he's openly has recordings of him saying openly racist things.
Okay.
Have you not heard those before?
I've heard him say some pretty anti-Semitic shit.
Oh, he said that too, but he has stuff like "I hope you get raped by a pack of N-words" kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, I didn't know he said that shit. Okay.
Yeah, he said that before too.
Okay.
And so I don't like that they.
So they're doing it to try to justify him being in the movie. Is what you're saying.
I don't know. It just feels like a
feels forced.
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. It's like
okay.
it's like I don't know. It's just a weird touch.
Usually we got army tanks rolling in. He's driving an old Ford truck.
Oh, and
Melly Gibbs got the big beard, of course. Is that Adam Sandler? Who the hell is that?
No.
He's got the
That's
mustache.
just some fucking guy. So this is.
So he's giving him coal. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So this little kid gets coal.
All right, hold up. I want.
Oh, you want to see it? So
I want to see this. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's working. Yeah, the kid gets coal. Some real rich kid. Curse you, Santa!
He's outside. Of course, the shot panning up with him holding the coal.
This is Walton Goggins, I believe, is his name, and he gets
sunglasses.
He's a Walton Goggins is a like a assassin, and that kid hires him to assassinate Santa Claus.
Oh, jeez. So what is Santa Claus like an old CIA agent, and he knows how to like thwart all these dudes trying to kill him?
I don't know why. I think just because he's had so many. I think he's just saying this is not the first time a child's sent a murderer to come kill him.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Why he's so good at.
That is hilarious. His name in the phone is Little Turd. That is hilarious. What? Oh man, this looks like a crazy movie. What's it called again? The Fat Man?
Fat Man, yeah.
Fat Man. Okay.
And this is coming out in 2020.
Gibson's taking a shot. Oh man.
Well, Gibson is a Santa Claus who is an alcoholic murderer.
I mean, what would you expect, dude? A guy that works all year round to make toys for one day? You got to be a little crazy, right?
I need to know. I mean, what? Who's producing this? Like, who thinks this is a good idea? One, Mel Gibson. One, just the whole concept of I don't understand.
People are gonna watch it. That's why they're making it. That's why
Did you see that?
I saw that. He had a punching bag that was Santa. He's beating it up, dude.
He has like one of those punching sticks and kicking sticks with Santa Claus's face bat on it.
Oh man!
And the funny thing is, it's not the Santa Claus he's using is like a stereotypical Santa Claus that looks nothing like Mel Gibson.
Now let me ask this.
See?
Yeah, that does make me.
I hope you get R-worded by a pack of N-words, is what he said.
I feel bad for the actress who has to kiss Mel Gibson.
Yeah, it's a job. It's a job.
Yeah, got some reindeer. Okay, this movie's got it all, dude.
Listen,
Hitman, reindeer, racist lead who has. Oh man, crazy. Interesting. I will say this though. I am excited about Borat 2 coming up.
Yes, I wonder if that has
October 23rd.
I wonder if that has anything to do with like the stuff. Like he got caught at some rally. Like in the middle of nowhere in some state, and he was like, as he usually does, coaxing the people to say ridiculous stuff.
Right. Oh yeah.
I wonder.
Well, what's interesting is he was giving a speech on why he does that. Like people actually called him out and called him a racist for his comedy and for his movies and stuff.
I think it's actually, from what I've heard, he's actually very like socially aware and very
right. Well, he's a really eloquent speaker.
Yeah. I mean, every role he plays is like the ultimate idiot. But yeah, I've heard that too. He's very smart. He cares about social justice and all that stuff. But I think from what I've heard, he's trying to shine a light on the ignorance.
Yep. Well, exactly, and that's what he was saying about his comedy. And it's so funny because people are calling him anti-Semitic for Borat, and he's actually Jewish.
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, he's Jewish. So I'm excited to see what kind of crazy shit he will coax out of these people. Mm-hmm. Because he does.
When we've seen it, I didn't see. There was the one he did before that I didn't see, but I know that he was getting like those senators to yell racist shit. And to
and he had that one character, right, where he was doing like that fight training with that one guy.
Yeah. And he was getting him. That was one of them. He was getting him to yell a bunch of And I love it. I love it. And I don't. To me, like anyone that understands comedy, it's clear what he's doing. Like, right. That wouldn't be why I would think that he would be like a racist or anything. Right. It's like it's obvious what he's doing.
Right. Do you worry though, like about comedy and like how things are going with the way people interpret free speech and everything else?
No, because I still feel like there's the audience for comedy is not getting smaller. It's just that people have more access to it. So like there's just more ability for someone to dislike. Like it's like this. If you dislike this person that you saw on Twitter and you try to cancel them or whatever, it's like this person was never meant. You were never meant to be a fan of this person. Like this person is not for you, and that's fine. Like it's just. I think it's just we're now getting to a place where people, like they like everyone can just hear everyone's opinion. So like we just hear. If like Louis C.K. for example, I mean, people say he got quote unquote canceled, and yeah, he went away for a bit. But he's doing stand-up now like normal. His career, I mean, like it's a pandemic. But like before, like he's back to doing stand-up and his career is fine. Like he still has an audience. He still has like loyal fans, And so I don't know. I'm not, and I think it helps honestly because part of comedy is that you're supposed to be saying like, the thing that no one else says or like, challenging. Well, that's what makes
it funny.
Norms.
Right.
And so when people are even more uncomfortable, I think it makes it if it's funny, I think it makes it a little more powerful.
Sure.
Like Bill Burr, he just did me too. He just did Saturday Night Live the other day, and I didn't watch all of it, but part of it was, and I've heard him talk about this on his podcast and stuff, was about like white women, like becoming the victim and like taking the woke movement away from minorities and how it was supposed to be for and people were. The clip went quote unquote viral on Twitter, and there were a bunch of people that were like, I love it, it's hilarious. A new fan or whatever, and then there were also a bunch of people that were like, this guy's an idiot. But it's like he like, is he saying anything different that he would have said at a different time, or is it or not he specifically, I'm sure, but like, or is it just that like people now. Like it goes quote unquote viral on social media, and it's like, this person never even watches SNL, but now they see this guy and they're like, who's this guy? F what he's saying. It's like you wouldn't even watch this, if it hadn't just floated across your timeline.
He's probably not going to lose fans from it. I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah,
but,
no, I don't. But, if anything, he probably. Like there are probably people that won't become a fan of him, but he probably gains fans still.
I mean, I think
he's still gaining fans. It's like there are people that were never going to be a fan of you that see it and don't like it, whatever. They would have not liked you eventually once they saw you.
Right.
You're not saying anything different than what you usually say.
Right.
And so I think it only helps, really.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that Bill Burr says that I definitely agree with. I mean, I listen to his podcast a lot too in the morning.
Yeah, and he's a comedian too, and
Right.
like I like what he does because like I don't know, just this is what comedians do is like
Right.
finding what you're
The ladies. I just love the way he says that. It's hilarious.
yeah. So no, I don't get concerned about cancel culture in the slightest. I don't think people really get canceled unless they actually
really bad.
did something
Right.
like
Sure. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was gonna say
We don't
I
need to go
stopped
there.
myself. It's like I don't need to name
We don't-
specific
we
people.
don't need to go there. Yeah. That's okay.
Do you wanna,
those people have gotten enough attention. That's for sure.
Oh, my
I
thing's
do.
not even connected because my computer screwed it up.
You're good. This is just kind of interesting. I don't really know if this is a shout out, but this is just kind of exciting news, Jared. So there's been some new research, and this is really fascinating. I don't know how they figured this out, but new research. Here's the headline: New research could help millions who suffer from ringing in the ears, which is what a lot of people know this as tinnitus. I'm sure you've heard of it before.
Yeah.
It's where your ears ring. I've definitely had it after like loud gigs before, especially if your drummer's really beating the crap out of the drums, your ears will ring.
Yeah, I've had that like post-concert or something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'll never forget. I went to a metal concert when I was younger, probably 14, 15. I brought earplugs with me. The dude...
People call you the P word?
They did not call me the P word. Freak 7 days a week. Sorry, the way you said that made me think of anyways. No, the dude, I put him in the thing to go through security because they said empty out your pockets.
Yeah.
And the dude just grabbed him and threw him in the trash. And I'm like, what?
He said, "Don't be a P word."
I mean, he didn't say it, but I mean, the look I guess he gave me said it. But,
Yeah, but
my ears were definitely ringing after that damn concert.
Why would you do that? Because it's not like you can't bring them in. It's like this is clearly not a weapon, or maybe he thought they were just drugs and they're like super large pills.
Maybe. But I was 14, bro. I don't know, dude. But anyways,
There were probably some 14-year-olds doing drugs there.
Probably. I definitely got tinnitus though after that concert for sure. Anyways, let me tell you about this though. So, in the largest clinical trial of its kind, researchers show that combining sound and electrical stimulation of the tongue can significantly reduce tinnitus, commonly described as ringing in the ears. The therapeutic effects can be sustained for up to 12 months post-treatment. Findings could potentially help millions of people since tinnitus affects about 10 to 15% of the population worldwide. A lot of people have this.
So, so tinnitus, it's like a chronic tinnitus or something?
It can become that, yeah.
Okay.
If you really damage your, your hearing
but it's like through like repeated abuse, like if you're like a
I don't
professional performer or something, and you're...
I would assume so. I don't know, actually.
Right.
But I'm not an ear doctor. We're just untranslatable doctors.
Right. We already made a lot of bold claims about seizures earlier.
Right.
Today.
Thankfully, that wasn't while we were recording. So yeah. My last shout out though just goes out to people who just have a good pet at home, or a good protector, a good dog or cat. I just love these stories, Jared, and I think you'll like this too. German Shepherd protected this family from a black bear.
How does really?
Yeah. So, anyways,
man, that loyalty.
Yep. So the German Shepherd protected a family while on a hike from a black bear. So here this is. So, black bear was hungry in Kachamak Bay State Park. State officials suspect hunger drove the attack on a family of 4 this week as they hiked a popular trail. By the time the Bates family of Halibut Cove saw the large black bear, is that sow? Right? Black bear sow. Female
like
bear.
a female?
Okay. Female bear. I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
Stalking them on Glacier Moraine Trail in Kachamak Bay State Park. It was already within a few yards of 12-year-old Rockwell Bates. And even though all 4 family members had bunched together, yelling and waving, trying to drive the bear off, it advanced.
That's interesting that so the whole family just knew what to do.
Well, I don't know if that I actually don't know if bundling together is what you're supposed to do with a black bear attack. I don't know.
Bear? Oh, it was a black bear?
It was a black bear. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty aggressive, I think. But
really?
Black bear. I think
I thought black bears are the smaller ones.
They can still get to a decent size, I think. And if they're hungry, they're gonna.
I always thought the more aggressive ones were like a brown bear or like a grizzly bear.
I'm not sure.
Black bears I thought were smaller, and obviously they can.
I think you're right
attack
about that,
you, but I always thought they were less likely to attack and sort of more. I think
docile. We need to get a bear expert on the pod at some point. I would like to figure these things out.
All right, Joe Rogan.
Anyways, I'm
pretty confident, by the way, in my
your bear abilities. Yeah. Anyway, so as they said, here we go. Sorry,
so the dog protected them from this bear.
Right. So even though all four family members were bunched together, yelling and waving, trying to drive the bear off in advance, that's when Sally, their German Shepherd, stepped in front of the charging bear and took the brunt of the attack. Weatherly Bates picks up the story. We all got together in a group and just didn't stop and came right at us even faster. Probably got within 5 feet, and we had one of our dogs. She was just by my side and went and put herself right in between the bear and our son because the bear was obviously going to pounce on our son. And she just stood there. I mean, neither of our dogs had ever barked at this bear. It happened so quickly, but she just positioned herself right in between the bear and our son. The bear just tackled her. Sally, a 7-year-old German Shepherd, wound up with her head, with her head in the jaws of this bear. It started biting her, and she was yelping, and it had her by the head. And while the chaos, our dog on the leash, he ran and started fighting with the bear also. We had a gun in our backpack. Here we go. And my husband was able to get out of my bag, ran over, and started kicking the bear, trying to get it to release our dog, and he finally got a clear shot.
This is a movie.
Woo! This should. Oh man!
This sounds like what was that? Where the Wild Fern Grows. This sounds like a scene from Where the Wild Fern Grows. Man. What? They had a gun on them.
I mean, sometimes if you're hiking in really remote places, it's not a bad idea.
Sure.
My uncle used to take hunting rifles if they'd go on like hikes in national parks and stuff.
Yeah, but your uncle lives in Alaska. Or Wyoming.
Well, we don't know where these people live. We don't know where they're from. They might be from Alaska too. Who knows?
True. I mean, I saw when I went to Tennessee with Brad. I saw brown bears, or excuse me, not brown bears. I saw black bears.
Right.
But I mean, we were in a car. But yeah. It's not a wild thing to hear.
Right. Anyways, it looks like he shot the bear and killed it. But still,
that's a lucky shot too to kill it on.
Right. And here's the dog, man. I mean, the bear had its head. In its jaws. I mean, half of the dog's been buzzed because they've probably had to do surgery and stuff.
Yeah, but you can see like are those teeth marks? Is that what that is? Do you think?
Could be. But I mean, that's the thing though, dude. Loyalty of a pet is something else.
Yeah, I don't have any. Do you think could you see your dog doing something like that? Your dog is, no offense,
tiny. I mean,
way less of a
let's be honest.
I
will have to protect my dog. Let's be honest. I will have to protect my dog. At some point, I would like to have my own dog and have a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
For sure.
Protection,
companionship, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, if I have like a house and I know I'm going to be in one place for quite some time,
you gonna name it like Brutus or something?
Probably gonna name it Jared.
Ace,
right? I'm gonna name it. I don't know. I don't know if who says I gotta get a dude dog. Maybe a lady dog.
That's true.
I don't know. Anyways,
Bertha? I don't know. That's
Prudy. No, that's my dog right now. But yeah. But I don't know, man. Like, just these kind of stories are crazy, and it's weird how like such a drastic thing can happen in such a it's just like 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe of this bear attack, and it's a life-changing event. And if that dog hadn't have jumped in, maybe their son might not be alive now.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate to say it, I know it's bleak and dark, but. It's a crazy story.
I mean, I'm sure they definitely. I mean, I'm sure they already love the dog, but I'm sure there's the appreciation level might have gone up slightly.
I would assume so. I would hope so. I mean, I think the dog's earned it.
Yeah, that's a hero right there.
Right. It's a different level. I think the weird thing about pets is especially dogs. They get this type of. Some of them can get really possessive in a way where or territorial is probably a better term.
Yeah. I had a friend that had like a, what do you call, is it like a sheepdog?
Okay.
Like collie? Is that what it is?
Could be, yeah.
They were super, she was like super territorial of her people. And whenever
couldn't get too close.
I would come over, I'd have to like, they'd be like, you have to give her a treat. You have to like shake her hand.
Okay.
Give her the secret handshake.
Right.
For her to
sing her
out.
a song, write a poem, and then you're good to go.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
I don't need.
You
this
can
in
come
my
over
life.
if you want. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, shout out to I believe it was the Bates family for getting out of that predicament. Okay, and their dog as well, Sally.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, dude, I think we should. I think you know what time it is. And I promise I'm not sending anybody a text. I'm doing this. This is pod related. Jared likes to give me crap, people, if I'm on my phone while we pod, which, you know what?
I'll allow it.
I think it's fair now. You know, I've had a change of heart, Jared. I think, as you know, I've been trying to use my phone less in general anyways, and pod included now.
So now, but I think, is it pod included or now just in general because you've been using your phone less? It's easier to not pay attention when you get like a text or something.
Probably that. And there's just no rush. Like, I feel like, I don't know. There's just no rush.
There is no rush.
You know, unless it's something really urgent. But I want to give you a couple of good untranslatables today, and they are all Chinese.
I mentioned to you while you're looking around, I mentioned to you that this is some of my favorite. This rarely happens. I mean, it happens all the time, but I'm rarely in a position to write it down. I was listening to a podcast, and she's Australian and comedian Hannah Gatsby. She was like a sort of just working comedian for the longest time, and recently, like in the past couple of years, started making some real good money. And she was a guest on a podcast actually, and she was saying that she's like, "Oh, my mom always says to me, I landed with me bum in the butter."
Ooh,
but that sounded more British a little bit. She's Australian. Bit, yeah. With me bum in the butter.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
But that's what she said. What does it mean when landed with me bum in the butter?
What does it mean? Is it a good or a bad thing?
It's a good thing. I kind of gave you a clue actually before.
Oh yeah, you did. It's to come in good fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Is it to get wealthy or to have good luck?
I think it's like to get wealthy. But I think it's like. It's sort of that like...
Well, yeah, I mean, who else has enough money to put their bum in some butter? You know?
I don't want to say it's like no, but I don't want. I think it is like I don't want to say luck, but it is almost like a luck thing where it's like you almost fell upon good fortune.
I like that.
Where it's like
upon good fortune.
Because I don't want to call it luck, but it's like you weren't like you don't come for money, you weren't making money before, but somehow you found a way to.
You should have saved that as the last untranslatable to.
Oh yeah. I don't think comedians are a thankless job. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, no, I wasn't saying that. I was talking about not making much money and then coming into good fortune.
I see.
Anyways, so my first one is Mandarin. And you know what? First of all, shout out to Laiwai Idioms. This is where I'm getting these two from.
Okay.
They have a bunch of great
you should
idioms.
follow them on our
Oop, sorry.
No, play that. Can you put that up to the...
I will.
Okay.
I will. It is... I'm going to try to say it, and then we'll see how close I am. So it is Rao Wanzi, and it literally means Rao is to circle and Wanzi is to bend. So circle, bend. Here we go.
Xiao Wanzi.
What do you think that means, Jared?
Is it like my immediate circle bend, my immediate thought
circle bend
would either be to like lie.
Not quite.
Or
that's a good guess, though. I see why you would guess that.
Or it'd be, this is a little bit more literal. It would be like circle back, as we always joke about.
Your favorite.
Is that
let's
would be
unpack this and circle back, Jared.
Exactly.
Let's just do that.
That's what I would think of as well.
No, this is more of a like a. I don't think you and I really do this very much, but maybe you were telling me about your plans for next weekend, right? And you just keep talking and I'm like, all right, Jared, like, maybe I ask you because I'm like, all right, we're going to record a podcast. What time are you coming over? And you're like, well, first I'm going to have breakfast and probably eggs and bacon.
Oh, it's like beat around the bush.
Hit that ham horn. Give yourself a full ham horn, maybe even a double ham horn. Because it means to beat around the bush. Yeah.
Okay.
Rao Wanzi.
Circle bend. That makes sense. Yeah, I get it now. Okay. My next one is Dominican Spanish. Curarse en salud.
Something about health.
Yep. To cure or treat yourself in health.
Is it to stimulate yourself with certain substances, like maybe alcohol, or be feeling good?
No, that's an interesting guess. That's an interesting guess. No, it's a little different. It's different. Think more of the opposite of that. To cure or treat yourself in health.
To recover. To.
No. I see where you're coming from though, but it's more like Let me use the example on like a car. I'd say that it's good to cure or treat your car when it's in good health. So like
to take care of something.
Sure. So yeah, sure. But I do an oil. How do I put this?
Preventative measures.
There you go.
Okay. Preventative measures. All right. I like it.
It's doing something, but it's more like I feel like it is more of a human thing. So it's like doing something to prevent harm to yourself, or like thinking a step ahead to avoid like a bad decision or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. My last one for you today is also Mandarin. Shout out to my students for they've been teaching me some more Chinese during class when I lecture.
How does that work virtually? How do you get that
It's a little choppy sometimes.
How do you get that conversation where something like that could come up?
Gotta be a conversationalist, Jared.
I mean, I can imagine you're very good at facilitating a conversation.
I mean, that's what you do. You kind of facilitate, and then there's some important parts about the readings that we discuss that I try to talk about and try to relate it to like real world teaching. So it's more than just a textbook for them.
Sure.
Because a lot of research shows you want to connect what you're reading to real life experiences.
Make it relatable.
Exactly.
That makes
for sure.
sense.
So we've been, but how does it work? So I share my screen, have a PowerPoint, and we do discussion questions. I throw in all sorts of random stuff, stuff about, what's your favorite holiday, random questions like that are more personal than questions about teaching, questions about the reading. But they've been teaching me some Mandarin, and I've been checking out this Laowai idioms page on Instagram, and it's just fantastic. So my next one for you is Mandarin, and it is Da Jiang Yo. Or here, let's see how close I was. Da Jiang Yo.
That was a little off, wasn't it?
I was. Da Jiang Yo.
Yeah. Because it's not even just about the pronunciation. It's you have to pay attention to where
tone.
the emphasis
it's
goes.
The tone. Yeah. I feel like when I try to speak Chinese, it's almost like I'm trying to sing a little bit.
Yeah.
Because depending on the if it's the tones are rising, falling.
Yo.
Exactly. Well, I sometimes remember when I was in China, I would
it makes
do that.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
I just did it.
Right. But anyway, da is to buy. It's a verb. Da, and then jiangyo is soy sauce.
To buy soy sauce?
This has kind of a funny story. See, this is why I like Chinese untranslatables, because they always have some interesting story.
First, I imagine soy sauce is a staple of their cuisine.
Okay, very good. Okay.
So I imagine it's some sort of like making sure you're prepared or something, or like...
Not quite. Not quite. It's ordinary. It's ordinary, but everybody has their own. Like I have my soy sauce. You have your soy sauce, Jared.
Oh, okay. So okay.
I'm just out here buying my soy sauce.
I'm just doing my own thing.
Kind of.
Like minding my own business.
Basically. What this really means, and this is the story behind this one, Jared. This is why I love this.
Is it like
one.
A homemade soy sauce based or something? Do they make
No. This is based off of it was, I guess, a viral news story in China where quote of an ordinary guy whom interviewer asked about sensational news, and he responded as, "I don't know, I just came out to buy soy sauce." I love it.
Those are the best kinds too.
Yeah,
just the organic ones like that.
Yeah, I came.
Listen, I'm just buying my own.
I'm just buying my soy sauce, man. I don't know what's happening.
I love that.
Right?
I could see that in current day, like becoming a thing on social media or something like that.
For sure. I mean, this might even have to be a drop. I mean.
I'm just buying my soy sauce.
Yeah, dude, just buying your soy sauce.
I mean, I get it. Yeah, I like that. I like that one. That's good. All right.
Should we get into our topic for today?
Yeah, dude.
Those thankless jobs. These jobs that I guess I don't think either of us believe they're thankless jobs, but I think these are jobs that
society. This is how society treats them.
Like, yeah, they're not respectable careers or professions, or they're, and I think we're also here to argue that they actually are respectable, maybe, and that they shouldn't be considered thankless.
I'd say a lot of the thankless jobs are jobs that are usually, like, now we're finding, especially during this pandemic, that a lot of thankless jobs overlap.
Were essential jobs, right?
Overlap with essential jobs, and so it really does sort of. I feel like it should put in our face how messed up our capitalistic system is in a little bit.
Yeah,
in a little way where
perfect.
It's like some of the most essential jobs most of the essential jobs out there are the low earning jobs. People. Right. Like you or I that are kind of have like I don't even know what you call it, but like we are not in these jobs, and we have the ability to work remotely.
We're both in salaried positions.
Sure, that's what you call it. Yeah.
Remotely. I mean, that's
and we have the benefit of that, and people making less money have to actually go in. So I think that there's a lot of overlap there, and actually I feel like. I mean, I don't know why it offends me, but sometimes I get annoyed when I see like "thank you to the essential workers," where I'm like
you didn't care before.
Yeah, you didn't care before, and once
probably
this is
after
over,
you might not
exactly.
either. Yeah,
exactly. Well, that's why it bothers me.
And even these corporations don't really care.
Sure,
I mean, really, because it's all about the dollar, my man.
Yeah, and the corporations are also like. All these corporations that are saying this, no matter what the company is, they're like, how can I keep business going at my company as smoothly as possible? That's obviously the goal of any any company.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these companies that are doing this aren't even really putting their money where their mouth is. Like you hear companies like Amazon or like DoorDash and Grubhub seem to really not treat or Uber seem to not treat their like they don't even provide, a lot of them don't even provide like basic benefits or like a wage above, or even they don't even like if you're a contractor, not a real employee.
Right.
So it's like, do you even believe what you're saying, or you're just like putting this out as like, this is how we feel, but we don't treat our employees this way.
And a lot of these employees too, they might not even have good health insurance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues.
I know that. Uber, for example, doesn't even. They're
not even employees, are they?
Right, they're contractors, so they don't have to provide insurance or because they're not full-time employees.
Right. Well, that just unveils all sorts of other American issues with healthcare and all that stuff. But good catch.
Knocked over my keyboard there. And
is that one yours, or is that one your partner's?
No, this is mine. This was the first one I got, and when I wasn't thinking, it's not 88 keys, and it's not weighted. But I had no idea what I was doing. Right. I was just like, I want to play piano, and I just went on Amazon and bought the first keyboard I found.
I don't blame you.
Did you think of this topic because you're a teacher, which is a classic American thankless job?
Yes and no, actually. It's interesting you ask that. I was actually thinking of it because I saw some post online about, I thought it was like some guy that was like a plumber, and I don't remember what happened, but basically this dude had his own plumbing business. I think like something happened, and I don't remember if he got sued or what happened. But anyways, like I was just thinking about it, and I was like, this guy is, working in pipes and with sewage and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think that like one of their tanks burst or something, and I don't even know if he had, anything to do with it. Maybe he did. I don't know if he was incompetent or not. But either way, it made me think about like plumbers and like a lot of like jobs that are like trade school or more hands-on jobs.
I mean, that's a whole category in itself, is that sort of almost like a quote-unquote dirty job almost.
Right. Well, it seems like a lot of those dirty... Oh, you know what it really was? It was people who work out in oil rigs. That's
that's dangerous.
They make They make crazy money, some of them, but it's terribly dangerous, and in a way it is kind of a thankless job.
It's hard work too, very hard work. Yeah.
Right, like I feel like a lot of really hard manual labor jobs in our current society, they're not really respected. but in some ways they're just as vital, if not more vital, than some much higher paying jobs. And so, well, maybe not higher paying, but more respected jobs, I would say.
And it kind of feels like what's like a oxymoron a little. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Where it's like because well, I'll explain because the idea in America of hard work is so appreciated, and like the idea of like started from the bottom, now we're here, and like hard work, you can't no shortcuts.
Pick yourself up by your bootstraps.
No shortcuts. But then I feel like
all the big dogs have made some shortcuts. I feel.
Well, sure, but like the manual labor, yeah, that's very true. Like most, I mean, especially like politicians and stuff. But like most, most of the manual labor jobs are not, whether they make good money or not. A lot of them are not respected,
right?
Even though there is this idea of hard work.
But I think that the weird thing is, and I think it's important to mention too, we're talking about more U.S. culture this episode and like thankless jobs, I think, because I didn't look at like what are considered thankless jobs in other countries, but I'm just speaking from my own experience as an American.
We know, we know what we know.
Right. And so I think a lot of jobs, like you mentioned, dirty jobs.
Well, and we already know, we got to make it clear that we're speaking about America, because we already know that, like teachers, for example, I'm not saying that it's only a thankless job here, but it is very specifically an American issue, like our education system our lack of proper funding to education systems and proper care for that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the education system, the way the way the teachers are paid, not only that, but also just the way. I remember when you and I were kids,
they have to pay out of pocket for
and no tax breaks.
Supplies.
Yet our president can get $70,000 off for hair and makeup.
Pay $750 one year.
Right, exactly. It must be hard. But anyways, so I pay more than that in one paycheck, I feel like, in taxes.
I know.
Anyways, what were we talking about?
We were talking about teachers being a thankless job, specifically in America.
Oh, yeah, and you were saying they buy their own supplies. Yeah. Right, I think another thing, though, too, is if you remember when we were kids, at least with my parents for sure, if like when they had parent-teacher conferences, if they went in there, I think you know exactly what I'm about to say. Mm-hmm. If they went in there and if I would have acted up and the teacher would have said something to them, you better believe there would have been some serious consequences for me back home.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays...
There's no, like, conversation like, all right, let me hear your side. What happened?
Right. Nowadays, what happens is the teachers get their asses chewed out by parents because Jimmy or Susie or Billy or whoever isn't, and
we've seen it a lot now that these classes are virtual and we have recorded Zoom versions of the classes. We're probably it's always happened, but now we're seeing it even more. That's very true, and it's like that bothers me a lot. Is like that like my kid is. It's like, why would you assume that between the adult and your kid that your kid is the one making good points here? Like that just makes no sense to me.
Well, and I think,
I will say, sometimes as a kid, I felt like, why you listen to that idiot? I'm your kid.
Right. Well, I think you need to look at both, but not. I think it's very easy to take your kid's side, but it's also very important to respect and acknowledge your teacher's side.
Yeah.
And I think the issue that I see a lot in the States is that so many people are very entitled and it's their way or the highway, and they don't respect people who should be respected.
Right. Like the parent has it kind of shows not only the fact that you're like, it kind of shows their lack of respect for the education process, just because it's like, this is my, especially now with the virtual thing, it's like, this is my space, and you just and now that you sort of have access to it on some level, you feel like you know better than me, or that like I'm not doing it right, or that you have like it's worth it for you to have some sort of input.
I wonder if the online teaching has made parents respect teachers a little more. I don't know. But I wonder, because I think parents are starting to see this, and some parents who
parents are starting to have to like actually take care of their kids during the day.
Yeah, I mean a little bit in some, or at least help their kids focus.
Sure,
like it was adorable. One of my colleagues, She's fantastic. Her daughter came in and said something, and obviously my colleague, she's smart and she had herself unmute, and but her daughter said something, and she said something back. They high-fived, and she ran into the other room and continued doing whatever she was doing. So you're right. I think parents do have a bit of a closer, if their kids are at home doing virtual right now.
That has been an interesting dynamic, though.
Yeah,
I feel like it's added almost like it makes everything a little bit less formal. Mm-hmm. And it's been interesting to see people have started to or have stopped apologizing as much. Mm-hmm. They've for a dog barking in the background or something, or a kid showing up, and it's just this is what happens now.
Yeah, that's how it works. And how it works. I mean,
people people don't have to show up in Zoom meetings with a button down on. Right. It's why do we do this at work when now it's who we fooling? We know we're not dressing like this,
and we all know we're at home. Right. I would rather be comfortable and do a good job at work.
Which really makes me think more than anything when we go back, honestly, if they don't want to do work from home forever, I'm kind of okay with that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they should the idea of formal dress is a little stupid.
Oh, now. Bro, I'm doing a 3-piece suit. I'm doing tails, a top hat.
Although, as I say
cane.
That at the in the first couple of weeks, as I mentioned this early on in the pandemic, in quarantine, I will probably be dressing with my finest clothes for the first 2 weeks. And all right, I've worked through all of them. Now it's just back to normal.
Right. Well, I wore a hoodie today. I didn't have any really big meetings and stuff. I had a bunch of training stuff that I had to do, but I wore a hoodie today.
Yeah,
and it was great. Usually I wear a button down or a flannel. Usually a flannel because it's comfier. But
this is usually what I would wear.
Right.
All right. Another
thankless jobs.
Another big one for me. So we were in the topic of the almost dirty job. Another classic one is the garbage picker upper.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't want to say garbage man. Garbage collector. That's what I wrote
Garbage
down.
collector. Yeah.
Garbage collector. Yes, and when I was a kid, I remember this has always kind of been the thing, and I don't know if this is true or not, but we would always say I'm not going to say it's. I'm saying it's thankless, but I would say that every time garbage collector came up as kind of a job you didn't want to have, people would also mention that they get paid well because no one wants it.
What's the garbage man's salary?
I don't know. I think
because how do you define getting paid well?
Sure. I guess if you hear $60,000 as a kid, you're like, wow, you're rich.
Right. You tell a kid you make $12,000, they'll say you're rich.
That's true.
Good luck living on $12,000.
Garbage collector salary is okay. No, it's not. It's not great.
What is it?
It's about in the median salary in 2018 was 37. The best paid are making about 50. That's
my Google
great.
says around 42.
Yeah. So there you go.
So that's not great. But
no.
I mean,
I still say it's a thankless job. One because it is very physical. You're picking up garbage. Unless you have
$20 an hour.
Unless you live in one of those fancy cities where they have the garbage can specific for the truck and it lifts it up. Right. You got to pick up cans and throw it in and stuff. And it also seems
getting swole, bro.
I can't stress how dangerous it seems to stand on the back of a truck.
Right. And can you imagine the smell, dude? It's got to be terrible.
I know. It's just a direct...
it's got to be bad.
Although
they should be paying those people 6 figures. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But I think that is such an essential service that, it's...
Dude,
rough.
Yeah, I mean...
Can you imagine?
That was actually something at the beginning of the pandemic, in a little bit in my head where I'm I feel like I'm more afraid of garbage collectors not coming than me running out of toilet paper or paper towels. That seems...
I was more worried about food.
Sure, yeah, okay. But I definitely remember thinking at one point, what if the garbage collectors can't come, because there was something about that in the news at some point early on in quarantine, and I'm that would be
gotta build a composting place out back, Jared.
We have compost.
Okay.
Our partner hooked it up, and now we actually have a compost thing out there. It's not part of city of Ferndale though. It's a separate thing that you have to sign up for, but I think it's free.
Studio Jared.
No, it's not free. It's definitely not free. But anyway, but yeah, give it more than 2 weeks, and it kind of screwed as far as having garbage here. I could probably go 2 weeks without having my garbage collected, and then I'm kind of effed.
Well, then you would just have to take your garbage somewhere.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. That's doable.
Not ideal.
Not great for the car, but yeah, that's that's doable.
Right.
Some more now. Okay, those are. I have a.
I do want to mention though that I think our conversation did highlight something too, that a lot of thankless jobs are related to salary a little bit. Like,
yes,
I think a lot of like essential. I feel like the amount of Americans who eat fast food, and look, I get fast food probably twice a week. To be honest, probably shouldn't, but once in a while, I don't mind fast food.
That's okay.
And
you look great, by the way.
I've been trying. Got some kettlebells, dude. Game changer.
Yeah,
game changer.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm telling you too. I think this drum set gonna get a little bit more exercise.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
I like that.
Anyways, so, a lot of it has to do with salary or lack thereof. And a lot of these minimum wage fast food jobs, or even I don't think people at a grocery store make very very much. Do they?
I doubt it.
Right.
Well, and then it's like a perpetuating thing. That gets me thinking is where it's like, first it's the low earning part, which but then the lifestyle that goes along with that gets looked down upon. So you get you sort of get looked. It's one part is the fact that
double whammy.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like the sort of the idea of low class or trashy or something like that. Where really it's just like, is it that, or is it just a low low income?
Well, I think some of it too has to do with the difficulty of maybe landing the job and the skill set required. I'm not saying it's right, and I think these jobs are very important, and we need people to work these jobs. And I personally think they should be getting paid compensated a little bit better.
Well, especially now that I feel like, especially here in the U.S., we're exposing ourselves.
Sure.
Where as I mentioned earlier, the low earning essential workers are the ones that we expect to go to work, and they're making less than the people that have the luxury to stay home and work.
Exactly. Like when we order food later, all those people have to go into the restaurant, make the food, deliver it here, or if we go pick it up, whatever, there's always
steps,
always something. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like even it's too bad it took a pandemic for some people to see this and realize this. And some people haven't, and some people never will.
I was going to say, I don't think much is going to change.
Right. Well, I agree with you there for sure. But, I just hope I don't know. I just wish people understood that. I get the argument where you say, well, that this is a low skill job and that's why they're not making a ton of money, right? You don't need a fancy degree. You don't need hours of training to do certain stuff. But still, I think the idea of anybody. I think this whole point of like a thankless job is you do this job that's not a glorious job. It doesn't make you a lot of money. Because of that, unless you're really a hustler or doing something, you're probably not living a great lifestyle. I mean, you're probably either in poverty or living paycheck to paycheck.
I kind of think it has to be a policy change because I think I think companies are always going to pay. Especially at the the wage level. Maybe it's a little different once you're getting to salary because then there's a little bit more competition and you're trying to quote unquote get the best. So maybe, but I think in sort of these lower earning jobs, there's little incentive to pay people more. So like the company's trying to make as much money as possible. So like if I can pay them this much, this is how much I'm going to pay them. Sure. And so I honestly think it kind of has to be like I kind of like the idea, and I'm not an expert, but I kind of like the idea of maybe like a universal basic income. Whether maybe it depends. Maybe once you hit a certain income level, it doesn't.
I would agree with
apply anymore. Like maybe I wouldn't get universal basic income, but like if you're below whatever.
Jared's net worth, by the way, people, is $2.5 million. Just if you're curious.
Yeah, maybe if you're below $2.3 million, I mean that's probably low income, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So if you're below a certain amount, you can
so for sure.
you'll get or even just raising the minimum wage.
Right.
The minimum wage has barely been raised for a long time.
Right. Well, and that's the crazy thing too, though, is a lot of these other jobs that when you go from the realm of thankless, I'm doing air quotes right now for everyone listening and not watching on YouTube. All the thankless jobs out there, they they don't have that skill set or that college degree associated with it. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that necessarily makes it lesser.
Here's the deal, mm-hmm. and I would say I'm in a I consider like I don't get thankless job. Also, I think requires you to have a necessary job. Mm-hmm. Like you have I would kind of feel like I'm in a thankless job. But I don't think I'm in a job that requires any sort of it's just some corporate,
right.
business job. Like I don't think it's thankless, but I don't think it requires any sort of level of you're really you're really doing a lot for society. We wouldn't be able to survive without you.
Right.
Like thankless means it requires thanking that we're not giving. I feel
for sure. I agree 100%.
Because I think there are a lot of jobs out there that are that's a good job or whatever, but you're not necessary to society right at this,
right.
in this moment.
Right. It's really interesting. I think just the way we look down on certain people when they're just trying to better themselves or live their lives as well,
Yeah.
I really hate it when you hear people say, well, especially you hear parents tell their kids, well, Johnny, if you go to school and you work hard, you won't have to be a cashier. Or you won't have to be I think that it's just rude.
Yeah.
Especially if you're at a store and
you're treating a child at you're training them to be look down on someone that has that job.
Right. Because I think
you're better than that job.
Right. Because look, I was a cashier when I was younger. I mean, you don't get to, you don't level up if you don't have some shitty jobs at some point.
And you're never really at no point is it positive that you're not going to go back to that. People were clowning Alvin from the Cosby Show because he was working at remember that he was working at Trader Joe's, and it's like.
The dude seemed like he was fairly happy too, right?
Yeah, it's he seems like he's doing okay. How are you going to clown he's a working actor? This is more realistically what a working actor's life looks like than Bill Cosby's life or something.
Right.
Or it's he did that show 30 years ago. And he's it's ridiculous. It's it's sort of that shows how thankless the grocery store job is, because it's you were better than that and now you downgraded.
Right.
And he's this is life.
I think a lot of people assume that if you have a job where you make more money, or even if you have more status, I guess, which I think that money and status are intertwined to some degree. Mm-hmm. I feel like people assume you live a more lavish lifestyle because technically you can.
Sure, like a doctor.
Right. But I think at the same time, there's this idea of lifestyle creep, where you've mentioned it before, where, you make more money, so you buy a bigger house, mm-hmm. you buy a nicer car, mm-hmm. You buy more expensive shit. And so you really don't have any more money. You just have more stuff, and nicer stuff, or more bills, or more financial responsibilities.
Yeah.
Which, I can tell you right now, I've been trying to minimize my financial responsibilities as much as possible. You know, I mean, no car payment is great. There's a lot of stuff, not having to,
can we real quick talk about some overthanked jobs?
Sure. Why not?
The first one I could think of would be executives of any sort. So for example, Elon Musk, of Tesla, he gets so much credit for stuff where I'm he's not making the cars.
Right.
He's not sitting at he's not an engineer sitting at the desk figuring out the camera system for the autopilot. He's essentially a spokesperson.
He's the face of the
company. And it's same with a SpaceX. He doesn't know how to make a rocket. He hires, or he has people hire people that know how to do that.
Right. He's just the top dog.
And it's not just he's a very he's so public. He's an easy he's an easy target. But it's just executives in general. It sort of bothers me. To see this executive, and it's sometimes even weird too, where it's you see executives get fired if a company's not doing well, or if something happened with the company. Mm-hmm. And I'm man, that's a tough gig, because to a certain extent you you had nothing to do with what went bad, but that's also your responsibility. Mm-hmm. and it's just a tough gig. But I do think that a lot of executives get paid a lot of money for that. So I think it's overthanked. And I think they're over sort of idealized.
Right. I think famous people, I think actors, actresses, I think there are definitely some out there that do a lot of good, for sure. But I think in general, because we put them on this unhealthy pedestal, that they're overthanked to some degree.
I think something that bothers me is the use of genius. I feel like the use of genius is overused in the artistic community, whatever the form of art is. It's just like not everyone is a genius, and I understand maybe this person is good at their art and you enjoy it, but I just feel like that genius is overused. It's like you like them a lot,
right? Well, I mean, it's like when I'm out with Jared, and people tell Jared that he's a podcasting genius.
It happens a lot.
Right. So
I can understand why that would bother Chad.
Right. Exactly.
Specifically. Cause
right.
Another one, this might be a little controversial.
Uh-oh.
But I'd say the police is an overthanked job.
Really?
Now, I'd say it's definitely...
I would disagree. I would say it's underthanked. I think it depends...
That's funny. It's so funny because I feel like it's underthanked in my neighborhood here in Ferndale and overthanked in your neighborhood probably.
That's true. That's true. I think
it depends on who you're talking to.
For sure.
But I definitely feel like I don't like the heroization of them.
I agree 1,000,000% with that.
It's really more than what I'm saying. I mean, now, obviously there are a lot of people that hate them.
Right.
But I feel like in certain company, if you treat them as anything other than a hero, you're an asshole.
Right. And I don't think that's fair because I don't think a police officer is just a normal human being like you or me. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything noble specifically about being a police officer. Now it would be here we go. And here is maybe, I don't know if it's me being indoctrinated by society or my thoughts here, Jared, but I wonder if, police officers, if you really look into their training and how to become a police officer, I don't think it's that difficult.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think...
doesn't seem like it.
Right. I don't think that's a controversial or crazy statement. We'll see. Maybe I just cancel this, Jared. But anyways...
I'm with you on that.
I just don't think it's not like they go to school for a long time and they study... Like, they don't study psychology. Maybe they should, know how to talk and work with people. Maybe we wouldn't have so much violence with the police.
I think psychology... Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think they need to do... I think they should...
Or just have psychologists do it.
But I think even like their combat skills are or their fitness, their combat.
Right. Well, yeah, you see a lot of overweight cops.
You see cops that clearly can't handle themselves like in a physical altercation, which makes them even more quickly rely on the gun.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because they clearly can't even if it's just like coming to, I don't know, a fisticuff. Obviously, it shouldn't.
Right.
But the gun seems like such a quick jump because it's like there's I don't know how to subdue this person.
Exactly. Well, and the other thing is too with police is
or they do it improperly, like the guy that killed George Floyd did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you about to say?
The whole issue too with the cops, I think I think it's an underthanked job in some regards because I would never want to be or couldn't imagine being a police officer. Now, with that being said, I agree. I wouldn't say they're heroes by any stretch of the imagination, but I would say that it's not an easy job.
Sure.
And I don't think I think there's a lot of people that don't put themselves in the shoes of a police officer and think about some of the danger and stuff they do get involved with, but at the same time, there are a lot of cases where you wonder if they had better training or if they had better funding or if they, or maybe funding isn't the thing, but
if they had someone else that could show up for that situation that wasn't a police officer. And that's where the defunding the police thing sort of makes sense to me.
Sure.
Where it's like, because I think naturally, naturally the sight of police coming, especially approaching like a specific person, already tensions are going to be high.
I mean, I get nervous around the police.
Yeah, I do too, and I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
And it's like, so
I don't think you have to do anything wrong, sadly, to be afraid of the police.
And so like I feel like situations are like the tensions are already heightened before even anything has happened, just because the presence of the police. And I feel like And I just feel like there are ways that we can maybe find the better people for the job, whatever that job might be, and avoid that sort of tension rising situation.
Yeah.
So like, for example, like there was the guy that that was drunk in his car in the drive-through, and he ended up getting shot recently.
Oh yeah,
and it's he was drunk in his car and he was asleep. He wasn't endangering anyone.
Right. He wasn't shooting anybody. He wasn't fighting anybody.
And in my mind, there was no reason. Like they could have easily just sent I don't know. I don't even know. But like I just feel like there was no reason. Or like Elijah McClain, the kid that was it Aurora, Colorado, and he I don't know. I just feel like there's so many times where things get escalated where like it never had to be at this level to begin with.
Right.
Now let me ask you a controversial overthinked job.
Okay.
And I don't know if I agree with this. I just want to ask you what you think. Doctors. I think it's both over and underthinked. I feel like now obviously doctors are about as essential as they come.
Right.
And obviously but I think like rich doctors are overthinked. I feel like the idea of the rich doctor is, but it's like there are so many doctors that like being a doctor doesn't mean you're rich. First of all,
and not every type of doctor being a doctor. I think another thing about thankless jobs is if it's like glorious work, like your brain surgeon that saves a life from this crazy surgery gets all this respect,
like Ben Carson who separated two like Siamese twins,
right? but then you have your everyday doctor who deals with some stuff that could be just as important because it's preventative.
Or let's do this, and maybe because now I'm changing my mind because I feel like something about the word doctor in a lot of cultures automatically earns you some level of respect. Maybe
that's true.
Maybe like nurses or physician's assistants.
Maybe people in the healthcare field that aren't the top of the top.
Those that don't have MD in their title but are doing vital work at a hospital.
Exactly. I mean, your phlebotomists, your EMTs.
Yeah.
I feel like, your ambulance people don't get a ton of respect either.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, you're right. I think the very top of the top might be a little overthanked. You're right.
I think having doctor in your title already, whether you're making a lot of money or not already.
It's a respect thing.
Sounds cool. Sounds cool, is very respected.
Even with PhD. I mean, Dr. Philosophy earns you some respect. I have plenty of friends who are PhDs, and there's a different ring to it when it's Dr. So-and-so.
Versus just having a master's or something.
I go by double master. Thank you very much now.
Another big one I would say, I think we've talked a little bit about this, farming. Farming is super underappreciated.
Super essential for sure.
I almost knocked this over again. Quote unquote flyover states. I mean, the states in general get disrespected.
Agriculture is super important.
Farmers are always characterized as idiots and sort of like southern dummies, where it's like you have to the science involved in this. Right. There's a lot of chemicals and a lot of I don't know. It's and mixed with the fact that it's also hard work too. You got to wake up at 4 a.m. or whatever.
I couldn't do it.
And I think it's super underthanked.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's an easy punchline of a job.
Right.
Like, farmers only, for example. Like, it's like, why is that? I mean, it's funny, but it's partially because they're farmers. I don't know.
Right. It's really
why do farmers need to find each other? I guess that's the
I wonder if the whole farming thing as a thankless job is due to feudalism. And due to history between peasants and nobility.
What is feudalism? Is that what feudalism is?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I think so, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I've read a history book, Jared. But I'm pretty sure feudalism is when there's a lord that is at the top. Let's see. All right, hold up.
Sure, but that hasn't changed now.
Dominant social system in medieval Europe in which the nobility hold lands from the crown in exchange for military service and vassals were turned tenants of the nobles, while the peasants were obliged to live on their lord's land and give them homage, labor, and share the produce. So the lord owns the land. If someone is then your peasant, they're the ones who are the farmers, right? And so I wonder if that's why, sadly, that still has a little bit of this kind of connotation,
Yeah, and that makes sense. It makes sense in the U.S. too. I mean, I hate to do this, but as they say, it always goes back to slavery.
Yep.
And I mean, farming was initially a slave job in the United States.
Right.
It's a job.
Talk about a serious thankless existence.
And so I wonder if that's part of it, or is just like it goes back to a time where this was done by literally the people that weren't even considered people.
Right. And were not compensated or
right.
Right. Crazy. We've been talking about a lot of doom and gloom, and the title of this song is definitely kind of gives you that vibe. Our song of the pod today is
I didn't even know
Hurra, die Welt geht unter, which means like hooray, the world goes down. Or is going down by KIZ, which is like a German hip hop group featuring
KIZ, as we would say in the US.
Right, or KIZ or KIZ.
KIZ.
As our British people would say, featuring Henning May, who is a singer in the German group Anna Maya Kantereit, which I'm pretty sure was a previous song of the pod. And this is definitely an interesting tune. And the video is quite something to watch. It looks like they're in some city in Germany, obviously, with a bunch of flat blocks, and it looks like a bomb or some explosion goes off in the video. Mm-hmm. You said in the beginning you really liked the beat, right? That's what really got you into the song.
I need to. Oh yeah.
I don't think they can hear that much, can they?
Hey guys, how much of this can you hear? Yeah, not much. You also blew my mind while we were listening to music before this that Germans don't have anything to rap about, and they end up rapping about food a lot.
Yep. Yep. Well, it's not that they don't have anything to rap about.
Sure,
it's that
they do. They rap about food.
Right. Because I think a big thing about German culture is eating good food. I think the Germans enjoy eating good food,
Interesting. Because I feel like if you were to outside of Europe, or even maybe in Europe, if you think of solid food countries in Europe, Germany's probably not going to be a top country that gets named.
I don't know. I might disagree with you.
Okay, well, I might disagree with you.
I might disagree with you.
I would say France would come up, obviously. Italy would obviously come up.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I would say, Spain, maybe. Maybe, Greece.
Oh, for sure.
I would say maybe like Indian food in England would maybe, or something like that. But I couldn't imagine German food being like high cuisine.
Well, maybe not high cuisine, but I think German food's still pretty tasty.
Listen, I like German food. I'm not saying I dislike it.
Talking about thankless jobs, you're talking about thankless food here, Jared.
Thankless Job actually is the German rapper. No, but yeah, no. He does talk about food a little bit. It just made me laugh. He was like, "Oh yeah, I see it." I guess it never crossed my mind, but he's mentioned food multiple times in the song. There's
plenty of German rappers out there who do that, but yeah, this one though is a really interesting song too, just because the singer Henning May singing the chorus, the hook, is really jumps out at you. When you go from the rapping and the beat to just the way the song changes a little bit. It's really interesting.
Yeah. I like it, and I it's good raps. I think what helps me.
Oh yeah, just talked about McDonald's.
What helps me,
and they're like making food on a ship, and they're like floating somewhere.
I feel like in a weird way, what helps, they're floating past they're in. This is once the world goes under, because they just floated past an apartment building.
Yep.
I think part of the reason why I like it, and part of the reason why I'm kind of bummed at the same time, is I feel like it helps that I sometimes I struggle to fully understand the context of German rap. So even though I can pick up sentences and I can pick up words, I struggle with the context of not even just rap, but like German music in general. Even though I can sometimes, this guy too you're talking about with his raspy voice. But with making a paper airplane with €100 bill.
Yep.
Because it's useless.
If the world ends, you can take your €100 and make pretty pictures with them, because it won't be worth anything.
But yeah, I feel like
they're brushing their teeth too a lot in the video. I don't know why, but got to keep that good dental hygiene when the world's over, Jared.
I mean, yeah, you really got to. There's no dentist that can that can give you a root canal.
Oof, that'd be rough. But it's an interesting song though. The video is definitely really interesting on YouTube.
It feels kind of fitting these days as we're in quarantine pandemic time. We're about to go into an election, I don't know. I feel like I could see myself living on a raft in downtown Detroit in a couple months.
You trying to? Should we start looking?
Yeah.
Should we? All right.
We should start building rather than
That's
looking.
true. All right. Well, we might need to do it at my place because there's a little bit more space in the backyard to build it.
People might start asking questions around here.
Right. That's true. That is true. But yeah, check it out though on our YouTube channel and our Song of the Pod playlist. KIZ Hurra, die Welt geht unter, featuring Hennig May. It's definitely a good one. Fantastic beat and some interesting vocals for the hook as well. So check that out. So what are your last words for today, Jared, on thankless jobs?
I feel like thankless jobs are, first of all, thankless jobs are jobs that we should be thanking. And I feel like now more than ever, we've been exposed to how a lot of these people get treated in these positions and how they're underpaid and underappreciated. And I also, that's all I have, actually. I don't have it. As I started, I was like, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I got all excited.
You're so good with the outros that when I have to do it, I'm like, oh, gosh.
You don't have to do it. I was hoping we have a little conversation.
And then I also say that, I don't know.
I'd be curious to see how you'd end our podcast. But anyway,
yeah, I've never done it before. I don't even know.
We're what, episode 240 something in there. But yeah, I agree with you though. We need to thank them. I think we need to thank them in more ways than one. I think that go for it.
What I was gonna say was we need to thank them in more ways than one, and we need to thank them through policy because I really think that. That relying on companies to because I feel like a big part of thanklessness, unfortunately, is financially related, and I feel like and people not
education related too. I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lane there that we could go down of needing to improve that, but I just feel like if we compensate these people to the point where they can live a more comfortably lived life. Then they won't be as looked down upon, and maybe that'll help with some of the thanklessness. I feel like, and the best way to thank someone, especially for a job well done, is to compensate them for a job well done.
Absolutely. Honestly, man, I think we're gonna put the nail in the coffin there because that's a good way to.
All right, man.
Good way to end it. I agree. Absolutely. So let us know how you think we should be thanking some of these quote-unquote thankless jobs. I think it's safe to say we do not believe they're thankless here at the Untranslatable Podcast, and we really do appreciate all of those people out there grinding every day, and working hard. It's not easy out there, but we really do appreciate it. So anyways, let us know, though, what you would do to help thank some of these people at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Check us out on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. You can see all sorts of good clips, especially props to you, Jared, for that Wolverine, that funny one with Steven Seagal photoshopped in
I
there.
had way too much fun making that.
Your skills are improving, dude. That was fucking hilarious, man. Hilarious. So check that out anyways for a good laugh or two, most definitely. And Untranslatable 1 on Twitter. And lastly, please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher, and let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shishi, and do svidania. Still have a name for the studio.
Oh, yeah. I feel like part of the problem with me doing the outro is I'm not as good with enthusiasm as you are.
I feel like you just gotta get fired up. I would just have to be your hype man, and then we would be good to go. And my main man, my dude who does the best outros in the world, my buddy Jared. Take it away, Jared. And you would just kill it. You would murder it. Yeah. You need the ham horns. We need some lights coming in. You just gotta get pumped up.
That's true. That's
true.
You're
good to go. I feel like a lot of it, honestly, man, comes from teaching in a way. I like to try to end class with some enthusiasm,
Yeah.
So I say, and shut your textbooks and be ready for. No, you don't end class. No, I mean I try to end it with enthusiasm, or especially online nowadays. Thanks for the good class. Goodbye.